The mirror shattered under my fist before I even realized I'd swung, shards exploding like my dreams across the locker room floor. Blood trickled warm between my knuckles, but it was nothing compared to the raw ache in my chest, the kind that had been building since freshman orientation when I first saw him across the quad, laughing with that easy confidence that made my stomach flip. "You're stronger than this?" I whispered to my reflection, but the lie tasted like regret, because tonight, everything I'd fought to bury was clawing its way out. I remember the exact moment I decided to fix myself. It was a Tuesday in early September, the kind of Southern California day where the sun hangs lazy and golden over UCLA's sprawling campus, turning the palm trees into silhouettes against a sky so blue it hurt to look at. I just bombed my psych midterm, curving my spine over the desk in Royce Hall, scribbling answers that felt like confessions of inadequacy. But it wasn't the grade that gutted me. It was the walk back to my dorm in Hedrick Hall, past clusters of jocks tossing frisbees on the intramural fields, their bodies carved from hours in the gym I avoided like a bad habit. At 19, I was the epitome of unremarkable. 5'10", a soft 160 pounds that clung in all the wrong places, with messy brown hair that never quite obeyed and hazel eyes that darted away from mirrors. Growing up in a sleepy suburb of Sacramento, I'd learned early to blend. Straight-A student, debate team captain, the gay kid who never came out because who had time for that drama? My parents were the salt-of-the-earth type. Dad a high school history teacher, Mom a nurse who baked apple pies for PTA meetings. They loved me fiercely, but love like that sometimes meant not rocking the boat. So I didn't. Not until college, when the freedom of Westwood Village's neon-lit streets whispered promises of reinvention. The gym was my breaking point. The John Wooden Center loomed like a temple of sweat and steel, its glass facade reflecting the Bruin faithful streaming in for pickup basketball or spin classes. I joined the rec pass on a whim during orientation, but 3 weeks in, I'd logged exactly 0 visits. That Tuesday, though fueled by a vending machine energy bar and sheer spite, I marched through those doors. The air hit me first, thick with the tang of rubber mats and determination, followed by the clang of free weights and the rhythmic thud of treadmills. I felt like an intruder, my ratty sneakers squeaking on the polished floor as I beelined for the front desk. "Can I help you?" The attendant, a bored sophomore with a nose ring, barely glanced up from her phone. "Yeah, a personal training session? Like, one-on-one." My voice cracked, betraying the nonchalance I was aiming for. She tapped her screen. "Sure. We've got spots with Alex Rivera. He's killer for beginners, builds you up without the bullshit. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Alex Rivera. The name pinged something in my brain, a vague echo from Instagram stories I'd scrolled past late at night. I nodded, heart hammering, and handed over my card. As I left, the sun dipping low over the San Fernando Valley, I told myself this was about confidence, body positivity, or whatever the influencers preached. But deep down, I knew it was about him, the guy I'd glimpsed in the weight room once, all lean muscle and easy charisma, spotting some lacrosse bro like it was no big deal. The next evening, I arrived early, towel slung over my shoulder, wearing borrowed shorts from my roommate that actually fit. The gym buzzed with post-class energy. Co-eds in neon leggings powering through HIIT, dudes grunting under barbells, the faint thump of hip-hop from overhead speakers. I hovered by the ellipticals, pretending to stretch, when he appeared. Jake Harlan. His voice was smooth, like gravel wrapped in velvet, cutting through the din without effort. I turned, and there he was, Alex Rivera, 23 if I remembered the campus directory right, standing 6 feet tall with skin the warm brown of desert sunsets, black hair cropped close, and eyes so dark they pulled you in like black holes. He wore a fitted black tank that hugged his runner's build, broad shoulders tapering to a V, arms corded from years of this life, and board shorts that showed off calves like coiled springs. A silver chain glinted at his neck, catching the fluorescent lights. "Yeah, that's me." I extended a hand, hoping mine wasn't clammy. His grip was firm, calloused, lingering a beat too long. Up close, he smelled like cedar and clean sweat, the kind that made your pulse stutter. "Great, let's start with basics. Tell me what you're after." He led me to a quieter corner by the functional training area, mats unrolled like invitations. We sat cross-legged, knees almost brushing, and I spilled it all, or enough anyway. The insecurity, the desire to bulk up without turning into a meathead, the vague goal of feeling less like a ghost in my own skin. He listened, nodding, his gaze steady in a way that made me feel seen, not scanned. All right, Jake, we're gonna build you from the ground up.
No rush, no ego.
Just progress. He stood, offering a hand up that I took, his palm rough against my smoother one. That first touch, electric, unbidden, sent a spark up my arm. I chalked it up to nerves. Our session flew by in a blur of bodyweight squats, push-up modifications on my knees, and planks that left me shaking. Alex corrected my form with gentle hands. A press to my lower back for alignment, fingers splayed wide. A tap on my elbow to keep it tucked. Each contact was professional, precise, but my traitor brain cataloged them like secrets. The warmth seeping through my shirt, the faint brush of his thumb. By the end, drenched and exhilarated, I was hooked. Same time next week? He asked, wiping his brow with a towel that draped dangerously low on his hips. Definitely. I grinned, breathless. And as I walked out into the cooling dusk, the campus alive with laughter from nearby food trucks, I felt something shift. Hope, maybe, or the dangerous edge of want. Over the next month, our sessions became ritual. Mondays and Thursdays at 6, the gym, our private world amid the chaos. Alex was a master, part drill sergeant, part therapist, coaxing strength from me rep by rep. We'd banter about classes, him in his final year of kinesiology, me drowning in econ prerequisites or Bruins games, his passion for soccer bleeding into stories of pickup matches on the intrams. He was from East LA, raised by a single mom who ran a taqueria, the eldest of 4 siblings who idolized him. They think I'm Superman. He'd laugh, spotting me on bench presses, his face inches from mine. But even Superman needs a spotter. I opened up too, in fits and starts, about Sacramento's cookie-cutter perfection, the pressure to be the perfect son. Never the gay part. That stayed locked, a shadow I wasn't ready to name. But Alex had a way of drawing it out, his questions soft but insistent. What's the one thing you'd change if you could? He'd ask during cool-down stretches. Our legs extended toward each other on the mat. I'd mumble something about confidence, but my eyes would trace the line of his jaw, the way his tank clung post-workout. And his touches? They evolved. From clinical adjustments to lingering encouragements. A hand on my shoulder after a personal best, squeezing like pride made flesh. Once, during deadlifts, he wrapped his arms around mine from behind to guide the bar, his chest flush against my back. Breathe through it, he murmured, voice low in my ear. I nearly dropped the weight, my heart a thunderclap. Outside the gym, boundaries blurred. A post-session smoothie at the campus cafe, where he'd steal fries from my plate with a wink. Study breaks in the Powell library stacks. Him quizzing me on supply curves while our knees knocked under the table. He introduced me to his crew, diverse, loud, the kind of found family that made UCLA feel like home. There was Mia, the fiery art major with tattoos up her arms. Diego, his soccer buddy who trash-talked like a pro. And Lena, the quiet poet who saw too much. They welcomed me like I'd always been there, pulling me into group hangs at the Hammer Museum or bonfires on Zuma Beach. But it was Alex who anchored it all. Late October brought rain, rare and relentless, turning Westwood into a watercolor blur. After a drenched session, he drove me back to my dorm in his beat-up Jeep, wipers slapping rhythmically. Crash at mine, he said when traffic stalled us near his off-campus spot in Sawtell. Dry clothes, pizza, no big deal. His apartment was a third-floor walk-up in a stucco building strung with chili pepper lights, cluttered with textbooks, a worn couch, and posters of Pele and Frida Kahlo. We changed into sweats, his on me, comically loose, devoured pepperoni slices, and ended up on the floor with a bootleg copy of Rocky. Halfway through, as Balboa took his first punches, Alex turned to me. You're getting there, you know, stronger every day. Our eyes locked, the TV flickering blue across his face. The air thickened, charged like the storm outside. His hand found my knee, thumb tracing a slow circle. I froze, pulse roaring. This was the line, the one I'd towed for weeks. say something, pull away. But I didn't. Instead, I leaned in, our foreheads touching, breaths mingling. "Jake," he whispered, and it was a question, a plea. I answered with my lips brushing his, tentative testing. He met me halfway, soft at first, then deepening, his hand cupping my neck like I'd always belonged there. It wasn't fireworks. It was gravity, inevitable and consuming. When we broke apart, foreheads still pressed, he smiled that crooked smile. About damn time. That night, we talked until dawn, about crushes hidden in high school lockers, the fear of labels in macho families, the quiet ache of wanting more. He was out to his circle but cautious with the world. I confessed my closet, the weight of it. "You're safe with me," he said, pulling me close on the couch. We didn't go further. It was enough to hold him, his heartbeat syncing with mine as rain pattered the window. Fall deepened, leaves turning the botanic garden gold. Our sessions amped up, intervals on the track, yoga flows where his hands mapped my spine like braille. Romance woven seamlessly. Stolen kisses in the locker room shadows. Notes slipped into my gym bag. "Kill those pull-ups, killer." He met my roommate, teased me about my econ notes during FaceTime with his mom. For the first time, I felt solid body and soul. Thanksgiving loomed, a break that tested us. I flew home to Sacramento, him to LA for family duties. Texts flew like lifelines. Memes, voice notes of his niece's giggles, my awkward turkey carving pics. "Miss your spot," I sent one night, buzzed on mulled wine. "Miss your everything," he replied, a heart emoji that felt like a vow. Back on campus, December's chill nipped at bare arms, but we burned hotter. A holiday party at Mia's, eggnog, string lights, a playlist heavy on Frank Ocean, where he pulled me onto the makeshift dance floor, our bodies swaying to Nikes. His whisper in my ear, "This is us, Jake, real as it gets." I believed him. God, I did. Until the text that shattered it all came at 2 a.m. on a Friday, the kind of hour when the world feels too quiet, too full of ghosts. I'd crashed early after our session. Alex had pushed me through a brutal circuit, rewarding me with takeout ramen at his place. Our legs tangled under the kotatsu table his mom had shipped from Japan. We'd laughed about nothing, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on my thigh, and I'd fallen asleep to the rhythm of his breathing, safe in the cocoon of his bed. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, insistent. I groped for it, squinting at the screen. Unknown number. The message loaded slow, like it knew it was carrying a bomb. "Hey Jake, it's Lena. We need to talk. Alex isn't who you think. Meet me at the cafe tomorrow, 10 a.m. Don't tell him." My stomach dropped, cold sweat prickling my skin. Lena? The poet with the sharp eyes who always seemed to watch us a beat too long? I stared at the words until they blurred, heart jackhammering. Paranoia? Jealousy? Or something worse? I deleted it twice, then saved it, slipping from Alex's bed like a thief. In the bathroom mirror, my reflection looked haunted. Eyes wide, lips swollen from earlier kisses. "He's not like that," I told myself, splashing water on my face. "This is nothing." But sleep evaded me. I lay awake, replaying moments. His easy affection, the way he dodged questions about his exes, chalking it up to old drama. A bi guy in a college town, plenty of baggage potential. By dawn, as he stirred and pulled me back against him, murmuring morning handsome, I forced a smile, burying the doubt. We parted with a kiss at his door, him off to a morning shift at the campus rec desk, me to a lecture hall that might as well have been underwater. The cafe was a hole in the wall on Broxton Avenue, all exposed brick and the hiss of espresso machines, the scent of fresh croissants warring with my nausea. I spotted Lena at a corner table, her dark curls tied back, a notebook open before her like armor. She waved me over, expression tight, concern laced with something sharper, like pity. "Jake, thanks for coming." She pushed a latte my way, untouched. Her voice was low, deliberate, the cadence of someone who'd rehearsed this. "What's this about?" I wrapped my hands around the mug, heat seeping into palms that wouldn't stop shaking. Outside, students hustled past with backpacks and coffees. oblivious. She sighed, glancing at her notebook as if it held the script. Alex, he's complicated. I love him like a brother, but he's got this pattern. Gets close, makes you feel like the center of the universe, then, poof, he's gone when it gets real. My throat tightened. What do you mean, gone? A beat. She flipped a page, revealing a photo taped inside. Grainy, phone snapped, but unmistakable. Alex at a bar downtown, arms slung around a guy who looked like he'd stepped from an Abercrombie ad. Both laughing, heads close. Timestamp, 2 weeks ago, the night I'd begged off our date for a group project. I followed him, she admitted, cheeks flushing. Not proud, but Mia and I. We saw the signs. Late nights, coaching other clients. Dodging commitment talks. And this. She tapped the photo. That's Tyler. Grad student in business. They've been on and off for months. The world tilted. 2 weeks ago. The night he'd texted me goodnight with a string of hearts. Claiming exhaustion. Lies, layered like the foam on my latte. Why tell me? I managed voice a rasp. Because you're good, Jake. Real. And he doesn't deserve to wreck you like he did Tyler. Left him spiraling, ghosting after promising the world. Her eyes softened. Walk away now, before it cuts deeper. I left the cafe in a daze. Broxton's holiday banners mocking me with their cheer. Strings of lights promising joy I couldn't touch. Campus felt alien. The statues of Bruin bears leering. The Sproul Hall carillon tolling like a funeral dirge. I skipped my next class, holing up in my dorm, replaying every touch, every word. Was it all a game? The trainer shtick, the vulnerability shares. Props to reel me in? By evening, fury overtook fear. I texted him, we need to talk. My place, 8, neutral ground. My roommate was out for the weekend. The room a blank slate of twin beds and string lights I'd hung after that first kiss. He arrived prompt, knocking soft, his smile tentative as I let him in. Everything okay? You sounded off. We sat on my bed, the space between us a chasm. I pulled out my phone. The photo pulled up from Lena's forwarded link. A betrayal captured in pixels. Explain this. His face drained of color, eyes flicking from screen to me. Jake. Shit. It's not. Not what? Not you with another guy. 2 weeks ago, while I'm falling for you. My voice cracked, the dam breaking. Tears stung, hot and unwelcome. Was I just the easy mark? The newbie trainer client who wouldn't say no? No. He reached for me, but I flinched back. Tyler and I. It's history. We hooked up a few times last semester. But it's over. That night he was drunk, cornered me at the bar. I was just being polite. Polite. The word landed like a slap. Polite with your arm around him? Laughing like friends catching up awkwardly? He ran a hand over his fade, pacing the cramped room. I didn't tell you because it was nothing. Buried shit. And with us. God, Jake, you're everything. This? He gestured between us, desperate. It's real. Deeper than anything I've had. I wanted to believe him. The pull of those dark eyes a tide dragging me under. But doubt was a poison, seeping into cracks I'd thought sealed. Lena says it's a pattern. Close, then ghost. He stopped, hurt flashing raw. Lena? She doesn't know the half. Yeah, I've screwed up. Pushed people away because commitment scares the hell out of me. Dad bailed when I was 10. Left mom with 4 kids and a mountain of debt. Trust? It's a battlefield. His voice broke, vulnerability cracking his armor. But you're different. I see a future. Late nights studying, road trips to Big Sur, building something solid. The room spun with his words, romance warring with wreckage. I stood, needing air, the window overlooking the quad where fireflies of students dotted the night. I need time, I whispered, to figure if I can trust this. Trust you. He nodded, slow, pain etching lines around his mouth. Take it. I'll wait. However long. At the door he paused, thumb brushing my cheek. A touch beyond coaching, now laced with ache. I love you, Jake. First time saying that and meaning it forever. The door clicked shut, leaving silence like a bruise. I sank to the floor, sobs racking me, The photo deleted but the image burned in. Love. He'd said it. But was it anchor or anchorite? Days blurred into a haze. I skipped sessions, claiming a cold, burying in textbooks and runs alone on the track, pounding pavement until lungs burned. Friends noticed. Mia texted concern, Diego invited me to soccer, but I ghosted them too, the betrayal a shield. Alex's messages piled up. Apologies? Memories? Remember that Zuma sunset? Please, just talk to me. I read them in secret, heart twisting each time. Finals week loomed, a mercy of distraction. I aced my econ final in Kirchhoff Hall, the relief short-lived. Christmas break beckoned, a flight home that felt like escape. But on the last day, as I packed, a knock rattled my door. Alex, duffel in hand, eyes red-rimmed. I'm heading to Mom's tomorrow, he said, uninvited but undeterred. But before, I brought this. He thrust a wrapped box. Sloppy paper, his handwriting on the tag. For the guy who lifts me up. Inside, a leather-bound journal, pages filled with his scrawl. Entries from our first session. Jake's got fire, hidden but fierce. Sketches of us mid-laugh. A pressed flower from the botanic garden. At the end, a letter. Patterns break when you fight for what's worth it. You're my worth it. Forgive me? I traced the words, tears blurring ink. I don't know if I can forget, I admitted, voice thick. But I miss you. Us. He pulled me into a hug, fierce and forgiving, his chin on my head. Then let's rebuild. Slow. No more secrets. We kissed then, tentative, tasting of salt and second chances. Break stretched long. Me in Sacramento, baking with Mom, him sending pics of tamales and sibling chaos. New Year's Eve, a video call countdown, his promise. To new reps, knew us. January thawed the chill. Back on campus, sessions resumed, tentative at first, form checks with space between, talks laced with caution. But trust rebuilt like muscle, fiber by fiber. He introduced me properly to his family via Zoom, his mom's warm laugh wrapping around me. We volunteered at the campus food pantry, hands brushing over canned goods, building more than biceps. Yet shadows lingered. One night in March, post a killer leg day, we grabbed pho in Little Tokyo, steam rising like unspoken fears. What if it happens again? I asked, chopsticks hovering. He set his bowl down, serious. Then you call me on it. We fight fair. No running. His hand covered mine, thumb stroking knuckles. I'm all in, Jake. Scary as hell, but all in. Spring bloomed, jacarandas painting Westwood purple. Our first real date. A hike in the Hollywood Hills, picnic at the Griffith Observatory, stars wheeling overhead as we lay on a blanket. This is it, he murmured, fingers laced with mine. The view I've been chasing. I believed him then. The city lights a constellation of possibility. But fate, that cruel curator, had one more twist queued up. April arrived with the ferocity of midterms, turning our rhythm into a sprint. Alex's schedule ballooned, senior project deadlines, extra shifts to fund his post-grad plans, a PT clinic in Echo Park, dreams of helping kids like his siblings. Mine wasn't kinder, group presentations in psych, a thesis outline that mocked me from my laptop. We stole moments, a quick coffee in the sculpture garden, where he'd steal a kiss behind a Rodin bust, a late-night drive to Santa Monica Pier, Ferris wheel lights painting his face in neons as we confessed insecurities over churros. It was perfect or close enough. The betrayal scar faded to a faint line, trust knitting stronger. I'd bulked up, visible definition in my shoulders, a confidence that turned heads in lecture halls. Alex noticed, his pride aglow that warmed me deeper than any PR. Look at you, he'd say, tracing my arm post-workout. My masterpiece. But perfection's a fragile thing. The crack widened on a rainy Thursday, the kind that turns LA freeways into rivers. I'd finished early, surprising him at the gym with takeout from his favorite taco truck, carnitas, extra cilantro, a peace offering after a week of crossed wires. The rec desk was empty, so I wandered back, the clang of iron a familiar symphony. Voices drifted from the trainer's lounge, low, urgent. Alex's, edged with something brittle. Can't keep doing this, Ty. It's over. For good. Tyler's laugh, bitter as battery acid. Bullshit. You say that every time, then crawl back when Harlan bores you. My blood froze, feet rooted to the tile. Tyler, tall, blonde, the photo ghost made flesh. Leaning against the vending machine, arms crossed. Alex faced him, jaw set, but his eyes, haunted, like a man cornered. It's not like that, Jake's. Alex stopped, spotting me in the doorway, takeout bag crumpling in my fist. Jake! He straightened, alarm flashing. Hey, what are you? Here to drop this off. I held up the bag, voice flat as the rain slicked windows. But sounds like I'm interrupting. Tyler smirked, pushing off the machine. Nah, man, just clearing the air. Alex here's got a habit of collecting hearts like gym badges. He clapped Alex's shoulder, lingering. Catch you later, River. The door swung shut behind him, leaving a vacuum. Alex stepped forward, hands raised like I was a spooked animal. It's nothing. He showed up unannounced, stirring shit. I told him. Again. The word sliced clean. This pattern Lena warned about? It's not history. It's your playlist on repeat. I set the bag down, grease spotting the floor like tears. How many times, Alex? How many overs before it's real? His face crumpled, the strong lines softening to plea. 3, maybe 4. Tyler's. Persistent, toxic but familiar, like scratching an old itch. He reached for me, but I stepped back, the lounge feeling like a cage. Familiar. I laughed, hollow. And I'm the shiny new thing? The client you coach into loving you? No. Desperation cracked his voice. You're the one who stayed, who makes me want to be better. He sank onto a bench, head in hands. I ended it with him months ago for us, but he won't let go. Texts shows up at games. I should have blocked him everywhere, told you sooner. Should've. Echoes of our last fight, but sharper now, laced with finality. Rain hammered the roof, a relentless drum. You say you're all in, but secrets are your default. How do I know this isn't just another round? Because I love you. He looked up, eyes glistening. Enough to lose you if it means honesty. Fire me as your trainer. Walk if you need to, but don't doubt this. The offer hung, a knife's edge. Part of me wanted to bolt, pack my heart in bubble wrap, retreat to Sacramento's safe harbors. But another part, the one that remembered Zuma sunsets and journal confessions, rooted me. I need space, I said finally. Real space. No texts, no drop-ins. Figure your shit, Alex. All of it. He nodded, broken but resolute. Okay. For you. At the door, he paused. Whatever happens, you made me better. Remember that. I didn't watch him go. Instead, I fled into the storm. Westwood's streets a blur of taillights and puddles. Back in my dorm, I tore through drawers, unearthing relics. The journal, clutched like a lifeline. A Bruins hoodie he'd left, smelling of cedar. Ticket stubs from our first movie, Moonlight, fittingly. Each a shard cutting deeper. The weekend was purgatory. I holed up, binging Netflix and avoiding mirrors. The progress I'd built now felt like facade. Mia blew up my phone. What happened? Alex is a mess. I ignored her. But Sunday night, a knock, soft, insistent. Mom, visiting for a check-in, her nurse's intuition on high alert. Spill, Mijo. She wasn't blood, but her hugs had always been home. Over chamomile tea in the lounge, it poured out the trainer hire, the fall, the fractures. No labels needed. She heard the love, the hurt. Oh, honey. She squeezed my hand, her own scarred from years of 4 lines. Love's not a straight path. It's detours, U-turns. But you're brave for feeling it. Her eyes twinkled, wise. Give him a chance to prove it. But guard your heart first. Her words lingered as she left, a seed in cracked soil. Monday, I returned to the gym, alone. The weights felt heavier, mirrors judgmental, but I pushed through, reps a rebellion. No Alex sighting. He'd switched shifts, honoring the space. Midterms peaked and crested, grades a small victory. I dove into electives. A queer lit seminar that cracked me open, stories of hidden loves mirroring my own. Friends rallied. Diego dragging me to soccer, Mia's art nights with wine and what-ifs. He's owning it, she confided one evening over gelato. Therapy boundaries with Tyler. Says you're worth the work. Skepticism warred with want. May bloomed. Finals a gauntlet I conquered with late-night cram sessions in the undergrad library. Stars visible through the dome. Graduation loomed for him. Caps and gowns, futures diverging. Mine another year grad school whispers. His the clinic, roots in LA. Commencement weekend hit like a wave. I attended, anonymous in the sea of blue and gold, watching him cross Poly Pavilion's stage, diploma in hand, smile bright but searching the crowd. Our eyes met across the aisle, mine from the bleachers, his from the floor. A nod, tentative bridge. After, the quad thrummed with celebrations. Tents of barbecue, mariachi bands, families in Sunday best. I lingered at the edges, nursing a soda, when he found me by the Bruin statue, gown draped over his arm. Congrats, I said, the word a olive branch. Thanks. He shifted, nervous energy crackling. Jake, I've been in counseling. Weekly. Learning to break the cycle, communication, vulnerability without the walls. He pulled an envelope from his pocket, thick with pages. My truth. Everything past patterns, promises. Read it. Burn it. But no, I mean it. I took it, fingers brushing his, a spark, undimmed. I'll read it. He exhaled, relief flooding. That's all I ask. And one more thing. From his pocket, a key, small, silver. To the apartment, if you want in. Not as trainer, client. As partner. The offer dangled, heavy with hope. Around us, laughter swelled. Families hugging, champagne popping. I need to think, I said, but softer now, the storm in me quieting. Take your time. He smiled, that crooked one, and walked away, leaving me with the key's weight in my palm. The future a blank page waiting for ink. Summer whispered in, heat waves shimmering off the 405, campus emptying to ghosts. I stayed, subletting a spot near the beach, lifeguarding for pocket change while interning at a local nonprofit. Alex moved forward. Clinic set up in Echo Park, a pop-up space in a converted garage, posters of anatomy charts mingling with motivational quotes. We didn't speak, but his absence was presence. Memories in every run, every sunset. The letter I read on a pier bench, waves lapping like confessions. Pages of raw honesty. Boyhood wounds from his father's exit, flings as armor. Tyler as a crutch he'd kicked. Then us, you saw me, Jake. Not the trainer, the charmer. The scared kid underneath. I want to be the man you deserve. Signed with a heart, shaky but sure. Tears mixed with salt spray. Forgiveness isn't erasure. It's choice. I chose. August burned hot. Santa Annis whipping through the canyons, turning the air to tinder. I texted him the key back with a note. Read your truth. Let's write ours. Coffee? His reply was instant. Strand House. Sunset. Can't wait. The cafe overlooked the Pacific, waves crashing turquoise below cliffs dotted with mansions. He arrived early, table claimed by the window, 2 iced lattes sweating condensation. Leaner from stress, but his eyes lit when he saw me, standing with that boyish hope. We talked for hours, easy at first, filling gaps with clinic tales, first client. A shy teen ballerina, and my internship wins, organizing a youth pride event. Deeper waters came with dusk, the sky bleeding orange. I'm sorry, he said, hand over mine, for the shadows I cast. Won't happen again. I know, and I did. The letter had stripped him bare. What remained was solid. But we're equals now. No coaching. Partners. His grin split wide. Partners. I like that. We rebuilt deliberate. Weekly dates. No gym overlap. I switched to group classes. A weekend in Palm Springs. Hiking Indian canyons where palm oases hid ancient secrets. Our hands linked on the trail. This is us, he said at the summit, wind tousling his hair. Steady. Fall semester kicked off with fanfare, me in sophomore stride. him adjuncting intrakinesio while launching the clinic. Our worlds intertwined. Him guest lecturing my health elective, me volunteering at his open houses, charming donors with econ stats on wellness ROI. Holidays hit different this time. Thanksgiving at his mom's taqueria. Extended family a whirlwind of abuela's hugs and uncle's toasts. El novio, they called me, the boyfriend, and it fit like a well-worn glove. But love's not linear. Conflicts brewed subtle. His clinic boomed. Late nights charting, clients stacking, leaving me adrift in quiet apartments. I'd stew, old insecurities whispering not enough, until we'd hash it over midnight runs, breaths sinking in the dark. We're a team, he'd remind, kissing my temple. Lean on me. I did, and he on me, when Tyler resurfaced, a drunk voicemail slurring regrets. Alex played it on speaker, then blocked the number together, our laughter a exorcism. Therapy continued for him, joint sessions for us, unpacking my closet ghosts. You're out here, he said one night, tracing my coming out timeline on a napkin. Proud as hell. Christmas in Sacramento. My parents, wary but warm, hosting him with stocking stuffers and Dad's famous ribs. He's a keeper, Mom whispered post-dinner charades, as Alex hammed up a Bruin cheer. New Year's at his place. Fireworks over the Hollywood sign, his arms my anchor as we toasted to us. Winter quarter brought storms, literal, lashing rain that flooded the 10 freeway, metaphorical in a client crisis at his clinic. A young trans kid, sidelined by injury, spiraling into doubt. Alex poured soul into rehab plans, but burnout crept, his smiles thinning. I stepped up, cooking pozole from his mom's recipe, dragging him to Wicked for levity, holding him through nightmares of failure. You're my balance, he murmured one stormy night, thunder rumbling as we curled under quilts. Don't know what I'd do without you. The words hung sweet, but spring unearthed the real tempest. March, a letter in his mail. Acceptance to a PT fellowship in Boston, prestige funding a 2-year leap. It's huge, he said over dinner at Yamashiro. Cherry blossoms framing our booth. But it's across the country. The fork paused midway to my mouth. Boston. 3,000 miles of continent between us. When did you apply? Fall. Before. Everything stabilized. Guilt shadowed his eyes. I wanted options. For us, eventually. But now. The word cracked open futures I'd assumed shared. LA roots, clinic expansion, maybe a place in Silver Lake with a yard for rescue dogs. What do you want? I asked, voice steady despite the quake inside. You. Simple, fierce. Here. Or there if it means together. But logistics loomed. My degree unfinished, his career pivot. Long distance? Viable for some, venom for others. We tabled it, but tension simmered. Sessions with our counselor-turned-triage mapping pros. Growth, adventure. Cons, distances erosion. Friends weighed in, Mia for chase the dream. Diego cautioning love needs proximity. Nights, we drive Mulholland. City sprawl below like a glittering promise. Debating in whispers. Climax crested in April, his fellowship deadline a ticking bomb. A beach bonfire with the crew. Zuma again, waves hissing secrets, where tequila loosened tongues. Tyler crashed it, uninvited, face gaunt, eyes wild. Heard about Boston. River running again? Alex tensed beside me, but I stood first. Leave. Now. My voice carried, steel I'd forged in his fire. Tyler sneered. Or what? You'll coach him to fight back. But the group closed ranks. Mia herding him away, Diego's glare a wall. As flames crackled, Alex pulled me aside, sand gritty underfoot. That was you? He said, awe in his tone. Strong. Mine. We made love to the ocean's roar. Not bodies, but souls, reaffirming in the dark. Dawn brought decision. Defer the fellowship. LA's home, he said, application withdrawn. With you. Relief flooded, but so did fear. What if resentment festered? I voiced it raw. Don't regret this. For me. Never. His kiss sealed it, salt-tanged and sure. Summer sealed our bond. A road trip up the 101, Big Sur's cliffs our cathedral. Stops at Hearst Castle, elephant seals bellowing approval. Nights in motels with scratchy sheets and shared dreams. Back in LA, we signed a lease. A cozy one-bed in Los Feliz. Exposed beams and a balcony overlooking the reservoir. But the real high came in July, his clinic's first anniversary bash. I emceed, toasting the man who taught me strength starts inside. His speech choked me up. To Jake, the partner who spots me through every lift. Fall arrived, my junior year a groove. We hosted Thanksgivings, blending families, pozole alongside turkey, stories weaving new tapestries. Yet, as leaves turned in the nearby hills, a whisper of doubt. His glances at job boards, my grad school apps to Berkeley. Change loomed, inevitable. Then, the call that upended it all. October, a rainy Tuesday. Alex's phone buzzed during our jog in Kenneth Hahn Park. Unknown area code. He stepped aside, voice shifting from casual to stunned. Mom? Slow down. What? I waited, jog forgotten, as his face paled. When he hung up, the world had tilted. It's my brother, Mateo. Car accident in East LA. Critical. The hospital was a labyrinth of beeps and bleach, fluorescent lights buzzing like trapped flies over linoleum floors that echoed our hurried steps. LAC plus USC Medical Center loomed in the heart of East LA, a behemoth of urgent lives, where Alex's mom's tear-streaked face met us in the ER waiting room. Iho, she gasped, pulling him into a crush of hugs, her taqueria apron still dusted with flour beneath her coat. Siblings clustered, sisters Sophia and Carla, little brother Nico wide-eyed and silent, a family fortress cracking under grief. Mateo was 18, the baby after Alex, fresh out of high school with soccer dreams and a beat-up Civic. Wrong place, rainy highway, a truck that didn't brake. They say coma, his mom whispered, rosary beads clicking in her fist. Pray, Mijo, for a miracle. We did. Hours blurred in vinyl chairs. Priests murmuring last rites, doctors in scrubs delivering updates like blows. Swelling on the brain. Wait and see. Alex held vigil at the bedside, for lines snaking like accusations, his hand engulfing Mateo's slack one. I fetched coffees, mediated sibling squabbles, became the steady arm his mom leaned on when sobs racked her. Nights, we'd crash at the apartment, take out untouched, bodies entwined in exhaustion. What if he doesn't wake? He'd murmur into my neck, voice a child's plea. He will, I'd affirm, though fear gnawed me too. He's a fighter, like you. The vigil stretched days into a week, campus a distant memory, my profs emailing extensions, his clients covered by temps. Community rallied. Taqueria regulars with casseroles, soccer teammates in jerseys keeping watch. I saw Alex's depths then. The provider, the rock, cracking but unyielding. One midnight, as monitors beeped steady, he broke. I should have been there more. Big brother fail. I cupped his face, thumbs wiping tears. You're here now. That's everything. Week 2 brought flicker. A twitch of fingers, eyelids fluttering. Mateo? Alex leaned in, voice cracking. Eyes opened, hazel like his, dazed but alive. Alex? A rasp but music. The room erupted, hugs, cries, his mom's Ave Maria's a torrent. Recovery was gruel. Physio hell, setbacks with infections, but Mateo fought, Alex his shadow coach. I juggled it all. Driving to sessions, meal prepping protein shakes, holding space for Alex's unraveling. By December, Mateo came home, wheelchair-bound but grinning. The apartment a revolving door of rehab and ribbing. Holidays healed. Christmas Eve tamales by candlelight, Mateo toasting to second kicks. My parents zoomed in, their warmth bridging miles. New Year dawned resilient. The ordeal forged us. Alex's fellowship deferral forgotten. Focus on family. Clinic thriving with a youth program inspired by Mateo. We graduated milestones. My dean's list, his first hire, a bubbly PT named Raj. Spring brought renewal. Picnics in Echo Park Lake. Swan boats bobbing as we planned forever. But humanism's core is imperfection. Summer tested again, my Berkeley acceptance, a full ride calling. Go, Alex urged. Over gelato in Venice. Your dream. We'll bridge it. Weekends, calls, the works. Heart split, I deferred a year, buying time. Together first, I said. He kissed me under boardwalk lights, promising visits, routes flexible. Fall, we moved, him to a bigger place near the clinic, me commuting for senior year. Distance bred creativity. Care packages of gym socks and love notes. FaceTime workouts where he'd demo form via screen. Challenges hit, jealous twinges at his new client stories, my late library nights fueling phantom fights, but we talked through therapy, our toolkit. Graduation came in June, Poly Pavilion awash in cheers. I walked the stage, Alex in the crowd, silver chain glinting as he hooped loudest. Post-ceremony brunch at his mom's. Mijo's got his degree. Now the ring. She teased, winking. We laughed, but the seed planted. Fall, I headed to Berkeley. Tearful goodbye at LAX, his hug fierce. This is just intermission. Long distance was marathon. Drives up I-5, holidays halved but heartfelt. He visited for Cal Games, I for clinic galas. Strains showed. Missed calls sparking spats. Exhaustion eroding edges. But love's the glue. Humanistic in its grit. 2 years flew. My master's in public policy, his fellowship pursued part-time in LA. Reunion in Big Sur, cliffs unchanged, we knelt on that summit blanket. Marry me? He asked. Ring simple, silver band etched with reps. 1, 2, forever. Yes, I breathed, the ocean roaring approval. Wedding was summer 28. A courtyard affair in East LA mariachi, queer flags fluttering, families blended in joy. Vows echoed our story. You coached me to strength, but together, we're unbreakable. Years unfolded, human clinic expansions, my policy job in Sacramento bridging worlds. Mateo walked at his wedding, soccer scars badges. Kids came via surrogacy. 2 boys with his eyes, my grin, chasing them on Zuma sands. Betrayals faded to footnotes, conflicts to growth. We weren't perfect. Arguments over chores, worries in quiet hours, but romantic in the daily. Morning coffees, anniversary hikes, touches beyond coaching, into eternity. Looking back, that first shattered mirror, it reflected truth. Strength isn't solo. It's shared, messy, profound. And in Alex's arms, under endless California skies, I found mine.